Hey everyone, and judging by the title of this video, this is going to be another Blu-ray update. And yeah, I know that I said I wasn't going to buy any Blu-rays for a while, but I made a mention that if it was Black Friday, that's when I was going to buy more of them. And that's when I'll actually use, I ended up using my Best Buy card because I don't have to make a payment till sometime next month of December. And I bought 9 Blu-rays from them. And I'm gonna show a couple others that I bought on eBay actually, but I didn't pay a whole lot for them because they were very. One, I was able to use my eBay bucks to reduce the price significantly, and then I bought another Blu-ray which wasn't really that expensive. So there you go. So I'll start off with the first 2 Blu-rays that I bought, and then I'll go on to the Blu-rays that I bought from Best Buy. I'll start off with this film here. I haven't seen it, but I hear it's very good. This is Uncut Gems. I heard that Adam Sandler does a great job in this film. I'm not sure if it was based on a true story or a particular event, but I'm definitely curious about it, especially with a lot of people raving about Sandler's performance. So yeah, definitely figured I'd go ahead and buy it. This was the one that I was able to buy at a very low price with using my eBay bucks that reduced the price. I believe it was like $7.99, and I used at least, I believe, $6 of my eBay bucks, and of course, they factored in tax. I only paid like $1.16, so very cheap. But still gonna check this film out for sure. The next up, I always thought this film was always very entertaining. I kind of wish they would have made a sequel to this, and that's the Rundown, which has The Rock and Sean William Scott. In fact, me and my mom saw this in theaters when it first came out. Definitely had a great time at the movies watching this. Sadly, this film didn't do very great, but it's a fun film. Got some laughs and you got some good action sequences. I feel like The Rock hasn't really made a film like this and something like this in quite some time. I mean, I'm sure he had Walking Tall, which was decent, but this was just a fun movie. You also have Christopher Walken as the villain, so yeah, this was definitely worth seeing in theaters back in the day. And so I'll definitely show the Blu-rays that I got from Best Buy, and I'll start off with this. I don't know if I ever actually have this film, but I figured I'd go ahead and get it, and that's Jim Carrey's version of How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Figured I'd go ahead and get it when it was cheap. I think it was around $5.99 for this Blu-ray. Here's the receipt that I have. Let's see. Yeah, it was $5.99. Not bad for a brand new Blu-ray. And then I'm going to go ahead and start, showing the Blu-rays of the films that I saw this year. Except for one that I didn't see, but it was the films that came out earlier this year. I'll start off with this one. I got The Marksman with Liam Neeson. I remember liking this film. It was definitely a decent film. I was going to also try to get another film that he was in called Honest Thief, which came out, I believe, September or October of 2020. I remember seeing that film. I thought it was a solid film for sure. But I think the price, I was probably going to pay around 16 and change for that Blu-ray, and I can get it cheaper online at some point. Sadly, there are no extras on that Blu-ray. And for this Blu-ray for The Marksman, there's just the making of The Marksman, and that's pretty much it. So kind of really scarce on Liam Neeson's features. Is it because he pissed somebody off with his comments back in 2019? That's some bullshit right there. But anyways, glad to have it. I thought The Marksman was a solid film for sure. Then next up, believe it or not, I figured to go ahead and get it, and that's Godzilla vs. Kong. I believe I saw this in IMAX. It definitely was a fun film to watch for sure. Well, I take it back. It was fun, when they fought. The acting is okay, but I felt like certain plots in the film kind of dragged on. But yeah, what can I say? It's Godzilla vs. Kong, so why not? Next up, I thought this was actually a pretty solid film for Jason Statham, and that's Wrath of Men. I actually was luckily able to catch the film when it was still in theaters, and I saw it at the Alamo Drafthouse of all things. I don't think I've ever been to that theater for quite some time. So yeah, I remember thinking this was definitely a good film for sure. And damn, no extras on this one. What's going on with this? No extras? That is weird, but still glad to have it. I think I paid, what was it, $9 for that? $10 technically. Where is it? Come on, I know you're there. Did I get this for free? That's weird. So I'm not going to drag on to this. I had to have paid for it, but anyways. Next up, I really thought this was a good film for sure. And, you know, before seeing Ghostbusters Afterlife, this was the film that I saw more than once, and that's A Quiet Place 2. This was a really good sequel. Emily Lee Blunt was good, but looking back, I felt like on repeated viewings, I felt like her character doesn't really do a whole lot, but Cillian Murphy really owned this role in this movie, and he showed he really showed that he was actually a pretty good replacement for John Krasinski. And yeah, the kid actors did a solid job as well. So yeah, this was a really great sequel. Definitely good amounts of, you know, some tension and creature effects and stuff like that. Definitely well worth it. And this film I really wanted to give it a I really wanted to see in theaters, but I never got around to it. But now thankfully I have, and that's the film Nobody. I keep hearing how there's you have Christopher Lloyd in this movie, and I hear that the action scenes in this movie are pretty good. So why not? Why not give this a watch? Maybe I'll watch it pretty soon. Here we are. I'm just trying to straighten this all out. Yeah. Who cares? All right. Next up, I saw this film in theaters. I thought it was an okay sequel, and that's The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It. I know I have the first one, but I can't remember if I ever had the second one. All of my Blu-rays are pretty much up in storage. But I remember thinking this film was, you know, a solid, I guess you can say a solid trilogy. I know there were other related films like The Nun that I saw, that I eventually saw, which I thought was all right. I guess it had its moments, but if this was the final film, I thought it was a solid ending to the trilogy. So there you go. Then the next two, I know this one's the first one, which came out 5 years ago, and that's the film Don't Breathe. I didn't fully watch this film, mainly because I was going to go ahead and see the sequel, just, you know, for curiosity's sakes. And from what I saw of the clips, there's definitely some interesting stuff about it, and Stephen Lang definitely plays portrays the characters a lot more differently. In this first film, you can kind of understand why, you know, he's basically defending his property. Then you come to find out that he's a bit of a kind of a, well, I don't want to spoil it for you. But in the second one, he definitely has a major turn and actually becomes more of a good guy, and that's the sequel, Don't Breathe 2. Thought this was a pretty solid film in its own right. Stephen Lang does a great job. You definitely kind of, you know, root for him to kind of rescue the girl and find out, you know, there's definitely far worse people than this character here, even though in the first film he's done some fucked up shit. And that's pretty much it. That's all my Blu-rays that I got. A couple of the films, surprisingly, the cheapest one was The Marksman, which was like $6, $5.99. Quiet Place 2 was about $8, $7.99. The rest were mainly, I mentioned that which one was it? The Dr. Seuss one was $6, and the rest were pretty much $10, $9.99. So yeah, there you go. Well, hopefully you like my little Blu Ray collection that I got, and there you go. Okay, that's gonna do it for me, and I guess I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.